The story of the organization of the Mormon Battalion is an important chapter in the history of the church. June of 1846 found 15,000 Latter-day Saints strung out across Iowa in half a dozen or more makeshift camps. Forced to leave their comfortable homes in Nauvoo, they had endured a difficult journey across Iowa. Into such desperate circumstances rode Captain James Allen, a cavalry officer, on June 26, 1846. The United States had declared war on Mexico, and President James K. Polk was calling for 500 Mormon volunteers to enlist in the United States Army. The Saints were surprised when they heard Captain Allen's request. Surely the government could not be serious with this proposal. Not only did they feel they owed nothing to the United States, but what would wives and children do if their husbands and fathers marched on such an extended journey? How could they possibly face such an uncertain future? But President Brigham Young, then at Council Bluffs, saw things differently. For one thing, the soldiers' pay and uniform allowances would provide a much-needed source of income to purchase necessary food and supply for the trek west. More than that, their country had called. The Saints were still Americans, and America needed them. It was as simple as that. The prophet of the Lord had said they were needed, so they enlisted. On Saturday, July 18, 1846, the recruits were brought together by the rattle of snare drums. President Young and members of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles met with officers in a grove of trees. On Monday morning, they marched away, soldiers on a journey from which some would not return for a year, some for 2 or 3 years, some for almost a decade. A few would not return at all. How would you feel if you were there? Would you accept the call and enlist? How would you feel as you marched away, leaving your wives, mothers, sisters, and daughters behind to make the difficult journey without you? How would you feel if you watched your husbands, fathers, brothers, and sons march away knowing you would continue onto the Salt Lake Valley without them? What great faith they had. Brigham Young called the Mormon Battalion the hope and salvation of the saints in the journey to the Salt Lake Valley, providing the financial means to make the journey. Today, President Nelson has called the youth of the church the hope of Israel, as they're invited to join the Lord's Youth Battalion in Zion's army. Shall we not go on in so great a cause?